Maverick 100.9, Aggie Land's Country Alternative. It's Corliss, and I am super excited to once again be joined by Ed from the band of Heathens. Although, Ed, I've told you this before, you don't really strike me as a heathen.
Well, you know, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but nice to be with you, Corliss.
It's so good to see you. And it's funny, you and I were catching up on like new things. Like last time we were on Zoom, I was still in my home studio and you were still stuck in your home. Things have changed a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely opening up. We're starting to get back out on the road. Had some dates in the Southeast a few weeks ago, and heading out to the mountains this next couple weeks, Colorado and Montana, Idaho, and Utah in August. So yeah, it's exciting. It's good to be back out there.
Oh, I'm excited for you. And I'm excited for the new single that you're bringing to us today, because you know I love your guys' music. So tell me a little bit about South by Somewhere.
Well, that I kind of wrote that almost in a dream. It was a song that came really fast, at least most of the song, you know, the melody and just like kind of the rhythm of the lyric all came like really fast to me. It was kind of like woke me up in the middle of the night one night, which is really weird. That doesn't happen so often anymore. But it's interesting because I think it works along the lines of the song, because this song's really, people have said that it's a travel song, but the song's really more about kind of inspiration and staying inspired and being in the moment and being kind of being present, being into what you're doing. And how, you know, like our band's been doing this like 16 years. So kind of in the context of our band, if we extrapolate, it's sort of like, you know, how do we stay inspired and stay excited about what we're doing, you know, with the fact that we get to do what we want to do. And we never thought that would be the case. You know, everyone that gets in a band, you never think it's going to go like it's supposed to last for like 3 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? And here we are all these years later, like actually in the place that we always wanted to be, getting to make the music that we want to make. And it's kind of like, okay, well, so now you're here and you've done all this work. How do you stay here? You know, how do you stay present and stay inspired?
I think we could all find a good message from that. I mean, the same goes for radio. I started this career when I was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. A lot is different at 31.
Totally. And that's totally the thing, you know, and it's like, there's not a roadmap. So, you know, there's an occasional conversation you can have with someone that's been doing the same thing that you have for a long time. And like, maybe their experiences are helpful for you, but ultimately it's sort of like, you gotta kind of figure it out. You have to reinvent what you're doing, mm-hmm. kind of find purpose in what you're doing in these different phases. Cause you know, you're in different places in your life emotionally or whatever it may be. And it's like, you know, ultimately you have to find some purpose in your work and find a way to get excited about it, you know?
I feel like you're reading me. Are you a gypsy? What are you doing? That's crazy.
Well, I might have some gypsy roots. I don't know about that, but I just think it's a universal thing. You know, I think it's a very kind of, that's just a common thing that I think everybody deals with. You know what I mean? Like you start out on a journey in your life and you have all these aspirations and these goals, and then you start achieving them, and that's great. You sort of take a moment to recognize that and say like, wow, that's really cool. I thought I was going to, you know, like it's the weird thing of like, you don't want to be falsely modest. It's like, yeah, hey, listen, I thought I was good at what I was doing and I thought I was going to be able to do this, but I wasn't sure. Right. And then it works out and you're like, okay, that's cool. But I kind of like, you know, I had envisioned doing that. So that's cool. And then it's like, and it keeps going further and further. And you're kind of like, you're at a point where you pass kind of any markers that you were able to envision when you started, you know what I mean? And now it's kind of like, whoa, how do I reimagine this thing at this point in time for me in my life and figure out a way to find the original inspiration that I found? You know what I mean? Like when I first plugged a guitar in or I first sang in front of people, were like that jolt of electricity they gave me. It's like, that's always the goal. It's always to get back to that place when you're writing a song or recording a song or playing a show. And so like, I know that's a really big kind of concept, but that's really what I was trying to get at in that song. Like you know, it framed in the context of a much smaller thing, which is like a 3.5 minute song, you know?
Right. Well, I love the ultimate goal and message that you're trying to get out with this new single. So, of course, if anybody needs to be inspired today, that is why Ed from the band of Heathens is here. And we're going to debut the brand new single, South by Somewhere.
Touch her skin. But I'm caught here in the middle of the world, behind the movers and the shakers and the glamorous girls. Stuck behind the movers and the shakers and the glamorous girls. But they don't give a good damn for me. It ain't cool to be blue in the land of the free. Said it ain't cool to be blue in the land of the free. Stuck going south by somewhere, north by no one. I'm running out of time, missing the fire when I live with though you felt the same way too. Lost in the middle, there was nothing you could do. I wanna run away, wanna get back home to my sweet little girl and the ones I love. To my sweet little girl and the ones I love. I'm going south by somewhere, north by no one. I'm running out of time, missing the fire when I live with
That was South by Somewhere, the band of Heathens on Maverick 100.9. I am still joined by Ed, and I feel inspired after talking to you today. You know, we were chatting about the new single. Hitting goals in life can be a little tough. And then after you hit those goals that you had made for yourself, how do you grow? So, Ed, if you could tell anybody who is listening, whether they want to be a musician, maybe a radio personality, or just have started setting their goals in life, what would you tell them after, like you said, 16 years with a band? How do you hold on to something, and how do you grow after you obtain that?
Well, I think a few things. You know, I think the idea of holding on to inspiration is important, but in the same breath, like I think the idea of letting go of whatever you've done in the past is really important so you can continue to move forward. And I think that's really the biggest thing, like that you have to just keep moving forward and you have to keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Like whatever that you might do something for a long time and it might run its journey and then it's a new thing. But within that, it's always like whatever you're doing, you have to keep doing it. You know, like that sounds super simple and super silly, but like all these sort of old cliches, like one foot in front of the other, a day at a time, all that stuff, like it totally applies to whatever you're doing. And in the case of music, it's the kind of thing like, you know, I might wake up on a day and be like, man, I really don't want to go up in the office and be by myself or be in my studio by myself and work on writing a song today. I want to watch a movie or whatever. But it's like, whenever I'm able to do the work, I'm always rewarded. There's never a time where I'm like, man, I wish I didn't pick up my guitar for an hour and play or sing or work on a song, because it's like whenever you do that day in and day out over weeks and months, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we got to the end of the year and I wrote like 30 songs. That's great. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, no one's giving you a pat on the back all the time, or you're not gonna like, there's not a big like flashing sign that comes up and be like, you're doing a great job. But it's like for yourself and the satisfaction of, if you enjoy the work you're doing, it's like, that's what it's all about. It's like, and then at the end of the year being like, whoa, it's a super productive year. And why was it? Oh, because like 3 times on a rainy day that I didn't want to go up and do work, I did. And like, oh, I made these really cool things out of it. You know what I mean? So super simple stuff, but like, that's really it. You know, it's in the time we've been doing it, I've seen a million bands come and go, and that's cool because everybody's on their own trip. You know what I mean? But for us, it's always been like, we just got to keep going, you know, and there's times you don't want to, but it's like, okay, well, what's the option? We either stop and we don't do this, or we keep going and we get through whatever's difficult right now, and with the hope that it's going to, you know, something better is going to come on the other side of it. So that would be my advice. Keep going.
I would give the same advice. And to even put it simply, yes, it all sounds very simple. Don't beat yourself up over the past and look towards the future and keep working hard. That sounds so simple, but I think we as humans, we beat ourselves up over a lot. I know I have horrible flashbacks. And then I always have to remember, I work to be where I'm at. I am proud of myself. I'm worth it. It's kind of funny how you are giving me the Corliss pep talk right now. Like normally I'm the one giving the pep talks. We got Ed in here with pep talks and I love it.
I love it too. And then, you know, the final thing is like, just be present in the now and be in the moment, be into whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Don't lose sight of that, because that becomes the past in a second, you know? So for sure.
Really fast. Oh, well, I am super excited for what you guys are creating, and I love the vibes that you put off. I know that sounds like some hippie chick stuff, but it's true. And I got a note. So we were talking earlier about touring. When do you make it back to Texas?
Well, we've done a few shows. I think we have a couple shows the end of July. I think we're playing in Fort Worth, and we're doing Green Hall in New Braunfels. So that's always a fun show. And then the next kind of batch of stuff we're doing will be a Thanksgiving. We always do. That's like kind of the birthday of the band. So every Thanksgiving we do like an Austin, Houston, Dallas sort of run over the Thanksgiving holiday.
So we want you guys to keep up with the band of Heathens. They are going to be touring constantly through Texas. So check out those tour dates. And of course, go download the new single, South by Somewhere, by the band of Heathens. And as always, Ed, thank you so much for coming to Maverick to chat with us.
Thank you, Corliss. It's good to see you.